Hello, gamers. I hate to say it, the unthinkable happened. Last night, my parents wanted to get my daughter a Happy Meal. Okay? They don't get to see their granddaughter as much as they would like. They're trying to cram in all the grandparent stuff, okay? So we went to McDonald's. We got my daughter a Happy Meal, and we thought, you know what? While we're here, we might as well get some food too. It's never happened to me before. Ordered a 10-piece Chicken McNugget. I'm embarrassed to say, when I picked up my box of Chicken McNuggets, I was like, oh no, the weight feels off. This is not what it's supposed to. I have like an anchor in my head for what 10 Chicken McNuggets is supposed to feel like. As soon as I picked up the box, I said, this is not 10 Chicken McNuggets. For the first time in my life, I opened it up. There were not 10 pieces. There were not 9 pieces. There were 8 Chicken McNuggets. They were off by 2. You can probably go back, because I know I've said this on stream a few times before. I believe I said something within the past couple of years that was like, hey, I've literally never had McDonald's give me less than 10 Chicken McNuggets. I have occasionally had 11, but I would say like 95% of the time, I get 10. I've never gotten 9. 8. 8. Also, is not that big of a deal, okay? But in the Happy Meal, they did also forget my daughter's apple juice. Now, mind you, don't know if you've ever been to McDonald's in Vancouver. They got bigger problems than just serving people the food that they order. It's always a little bit of like, it's like a combination restaurant plus gathering place plus slow bubbling pot that at any moment threatens to boil over and turn into a full-blown riot. So I'm cutting them some. I'm not mad about it. I didn't even tweet them or anything like that. I was just like, man, you know, it really do be your own sometimes. Was it the one with the security guard? For anybody who lives in Vancouver, this is, I would say, if you're a McDonald's Vancouver connoisseur, this is not the worst McDonald's in Vancouver, but it's probably the second worst in terms of like being afraid when you're inside of it. The McDonald's at Tinseltown, the International Village Mall, yes, not Pender and Abbott. Okay, we have a local here. It was not Pender and Abbott. That is, if you go to that McDonald's after about 7 p.m., you're basically choosing to die. You're taking your life into your own hands. It's not that bad, but it's pretty bad. That is, you're right. That's the McDonald's at Pender and Abbott in Chinatown is actually like dropping Tilted Towers. I would say this is more like dropping Tomato Town, Dusty Acres, Greasy Grove. There we go. I was trying to remember the name. I guess every town has a McDonald's that's a little spicy like that, right? The other Canadian one I'm familiar with is the one right next to the Rideau Center in Ottawa that Sips talks about. I'm trying to think about in Kingston. I guess the Princess Street McDonald's. I guess you got to be more specific. The one downtown at night it gets a little bit messed up. Any McDonald's where they have to close down the restaurant when the sun goes down and only keep like a little window open. Not even a drive-through, but like they turn it into a gas station where you have to go up to an ordering window and be like, well, I'll take some chicken nuggets, please. And then they hand a bag through the window. Downtown Kingston is now where the Tim's was. Okay, so now we're getting extremely local pilled. Is it down the one on King Street that's right next to the causeway? Is that the one? What am I talking? Why am I talking about this? Yeah, that's where it is. Okay. Well, this is a better McDonald's for driving, at least. Why are you talking about that? I don't know. It's interesting. I haven't been down to Kingston in like, I don't know, 4 years. Even when I went like 4 years ago, I was like, the downtown's a little different than it used to be. No 9 a.m. sap today. Hold on. No, it's live. You piece. It does still say checks are running. So I don't know if maybe if you're on YouTube Kids, you might not be able to watch it, but that seems like a problem on your end. I think it might take 24 hours to run checks on the video from a YouTube standpoint right now, because I think in one of these videos I did say ass. I got either so mad or so excited that I said ass in a YouTube video, at which point I then said, yeah, that's right, I said the A word. We've had 5 boba tea shops open in downtown Kingston this year. That's crazy, man. When I lived in Kingston, I knew like one person who ate bubble tea, or drank bubble tea, I guess, and we still called it bubble tea. It was at the Princess Towers. It's like Princess and Division. I don't even remember what the place was called. It was called like Asian Tea Cafe or something like that. People from Toronto come to Queen's University and then they go, hey, what's the best boba spot here? We're like, what the hell are you talking about? Boba. Boba? Boba? Booba? Now it's popping off. Kingston's pretty wild. I mean, again, when I went to school there, the best Asian restaurant in downtown Kingston was called Mr. Dumpling. Maybe thought they should have focus grouped that one a little bit more. But I gotta tell you, the dumplings were pretty damn good. Did you ever have walk-in on Montreal? That's what we're gonna do today. We're just gonna reminisce about me going to college in a town with like 100,000 people. I did go to walk-in on Montreal Street. Walk-in, as far as I know, I've said it before, Kingston has an insanely high amount of amazing Thai and Cambodian restaurants, because one dude would open a Thai restaurant, it would pop off, then he would sell it to investors, and then he would open a new one. I believe Walk-In was one of the first. Walk-In is still delicious. It's probably the last place I ever drank a Snapple. I remember I walked in, it was probably 2008, and I went, whoa, Snapple, I'll take one of those. There's 6 tables in the whole place, but it is delicious. You ever eat at Mino's? Hi, I'm Mino's. Yes, my parents still eat at Mino's. I would say like once every 2 weeks. They do the takeaway rotisserie chicken ribs, pita, potato, rice pilaf deal. You ever eat at Silver Walk? Don't even talk to me. My parents, every time I see them, they always talk to me and they say, you know, we really want to go back to Silver Walk, but even though like the restrictions are lifted, they're still takeout only. I still keep an eye out for. Keep a finger on the pulse of Canada's first capital. Ever hear of a little indie place called Swiss Chalet? Dude, every time I watch like national news, which is very rare, as you can tell, my parents have been watching TV at my place a little bit. I feel like I'm stealing, because I'll be like watching the news and they'll be like Hockey Canada, and then there's an ad, and the ad is like 95% of the time it's for Swiss Chalet, and I'm like, psst, come here, Ian Hannah-Mansing, I just want to whisper a little secret in your ear. We don't have that shit here. The last one was in Burnaby, and it shut down, man. Restaurant Brands Incorporated is just throwing money down the drain, advertising their $15.99 quarter chicken Thanksgiving combo to me. Way to go, Ian Hannah-Mansing. I'm feeling good, honestly. People have asked, how was your Peloton ride today? I don't want to brag. It was my, whoa, excuse me. Oh, what the hell? I'm scared. It was my third best ride ever. It was not a PB, but it was not even my second best, but it would have been my second best if I hadn't PB'd 2 weeks ago. Still pretty good. Is a top 3 ride out of 300 total rides pretty good? Thank you for your validation. I really appreciate it. What'd you eat for breakfast before you took your ride? I don't eat breakfast before I take my ride, okay? What did I eat before my Peloton ride? For your information, I don't eat anything before my Peloton rides in the morning, because if I eat anything, my tummy hurts when I am on the bike, okay? Even if I have like a granola bar and then wait an hour, 8 minutes into the ride, my abdomen is like, my tummy, you got a little stitch in your side. It's good. Look at that. It has the Retromation seal of approval. You got to be careful typing stuff like that in all chat, though, because you're going to get a DM from the developers. Hey, we were watching the stream. Just curious if we could take this out of context quote and put it on our Steam store page. It's like if they took the shit out of... According to YouTuber northernlion, he said that Game X is like if they took the shit out of Reese's Pieces and sold it in a big jar in the grocery store by itself, which is good. It's like if Pog and Champ had a baby, northernlion, which is good. Yes, which is, I mean, because it's tasty, man. Who buttons the top button on the shirt? Motherfuckers, people who have had chest hair since middle school be like, hold on, I just got to do up my top button. Anyway, I'm going to lower the volume just slightly. This is the kind of vibe we have in Twitch chat, by the way, in case you're only a YouTube viewer. Why not just shave your chest? Yeah, that's a good point. Why not just spend half an hour a week shaving my chest so that I can undo the top button on my shirt? Seems like a great use. You must be part of the rise and grind culture. Waking up at 4:45 a.m. before my daughter wakes up so I can do my ritualistic chest shaving so I can undo my top button so I don't get made fun of by a bunch of unemployed high schoolers in Twitch chat. Seems like a great use of my friends without kids be like, why don't you just shave your whole body every week? Come on. Get a clue. How do I use my turret? Oh, it uses itself. It insists upon itself. How about that? Subreddit says turret stinks. Listen. You know my wife now yesterday? Oh, I didn't know she was home. I was gonna say she looked so cute. No, what I was gonna say is that she's getting on me about my drillbert hate in Domekeeper. She said, "Why do you hate drillbert so much? He's actually a top tier upgrade." And I said, "Is one of the top 1,000 players of Domekeeper. Actually, drillbert is shit from ass." And the only upgrade that matters is, or the only gadget that matters is teleporter, and then probe is also really good.
You know, it's not true. Drillbert carries.
Drillbert carried?
Yeah.
And then she told me that she tried to stall in order to bring Drillbert home.
I love Drillbert, but he lives in the ground.
And then every time she tried to take Drillbert up, he just kept falling down, so she had to leave the planet.
It's true. Down
it's
the
true.
Hole, down the door, straight through.
How'd you like Domekeeper?
Easy.
She said it was easy. Yo, prestige mode, I was like, it's Kingdom. It's kind of like Kingdom.
Yeah.
You get a little, you go out and you're like, I'm going to feed my villagers. And then you come back and you're like, what the heck? Demons are attacking me. And then you go, I'm going to feed my villagers. You know what I'm talking about?
I gotta get better than you. Then you know the drillbird is a top tier boy.
If you can do it, I wish you the best.
Oh, why do you make it sound like it's impossible? It's not my first time to
be better than me at a game?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I'm going rubber ducky, by the way. I don't know what I'm doing.
How come you already got your own personal skin?
Very humorous. I'll have you know this is not an egg, it's a potato.
Oh, what kind of potato is white?
Ah! What is this? What is plutonium rods? I'll have you know, by the way, I played so much Geometry Wars as a teenager.
Oh my god, me too.
That, like, this is just second nature for me. This isn't even a problem. What I've learned is we should stand close to our turret as well.
Oh my god, dude, I need the chest upgrade.
I'm not touching that one at all. You know what? I'm going attack speed. Let me get attack speed for reflexes here. Holy rocket launcher. It's funny, this year, I should say, I take my daughter to daycare, or I pick her up from daycare. Sometimes I pick her up and, like, one of the kids has a runny nose. I definitely feel different about it. This year, I'm like, we're all in this together. I look at the other parents. I have sympathy for them. I'm like, because it's their first season going through this, and I'm like, oh, that's tough. We're all in this together. We're banging pots and pans together at 7 p.m. every night to say thank you for your hard work. Last year, whenever I picked my daughter up from daycare and one of the kids had a runny nose, I would look at the parent that brought them and be like, you piece of crap. You piece of garbage. Your kid's got the sniffles. Why didn't you just derail your whole work week to keep them home? Now I'm like, all right, I understand we're all in this together. Isn't it also good for raising your kid's immune system? Yes, but I read online that it takes 6 cycles, which is effectively like when they're age 7 or 8. That's a long time. Like that's not gonna happen until 2027, 2028. Online medicine? No, it was from r/doctors, r/licensed pediatricians. Their medical license was on the blockchain. I could see it. It's immutable. It's a ledger. Am I the only one who can't play the newly uploaded SAP video on YouTube? It won't work? Okay. Something's going on with the new YouTube video. I know we had this before. It's just, it's still checking. It's still stuck checking the whether it's advertiser friendly, okay? Let me refresh. It might be stuck. It happens sometimes. I don't know. Some people are definitely seeing it because it's got some views. It's got some comments. Let's look at, I bet the comment is like, it doesn't work for me. This video refuses to load for me. I can't get it to load. First round was the most cursed thing I've ever seen in my life. Took a while, but won't load for me. First. All right, well, I don't know. Whatever. It's YouTube. I don't know what to tell you. YouTube is weird like that sometimes. The SAP video works at 144p. Honestly, that's good enough for me. I mean, it's SAP. Like, it's even at 1080p, it's 144p, okay? What more do you need to see? What's the title of the video? I can't remember if it's even worth watching. I can tell you if it's an episode worth watching. Actually, this weekly has been pretty good. So most of the videos, they at least have some merit to them. Peacock is an all-star. Yeah, that's a watchable episode for sure. My friends without kids be like, oh, what's the title of that One Piece episode? Oh, that one's a little mid. Are you expecting a fist to be good? I'm expecting all purples to be good. I've played Borderlands for 10 minutes. I know the way that, like, the tier is supposed to go. Ew, why? Don't pretend you weren't like, Pog, Borderlands! Everybody in 2010. Oh my god, it's the game we've always wanted. It's like Diablo meets GoldenEye. Borderlands 2 was like the most popular game of its generation. I just get loot fatigue, man. Like, I'm honestly, especially I think the older I've gotten, the more when a game is like, hey, look at all these weapons we've got, I'm like, why don't you just give me like one weapon that's like fun? Instead of an infinite amount of weapons that are like all, they're like, whoa, look at this, it does +2 acid damage per second. I don't even notice it, but my brain knows that it's like, it's doing some fun stuff. I went to r/Domekeeper last night for the first time. I really wish I'd done it before I believed chat about anything. Because literally, every post on r/Domekeeper is like, why is the laser so bad? Is it just me, or is the sword 10 times better than the laser? Is it just me, or is the lift horrible? Is it just me, or is the teleporter the greatest gadget in the game? I couldn't believe it. Like, every take that I came to automatically just from playing the game, that I came to holistically and organically, was validated by the people that were actually discussing the game. And I was like, don't say this stuff on Twitch, people will make fun of you. They'll say, oh, I love when NL plays a new roguelite because he's bad at it, and then that makes me want to get it so to see how much better I am. Yeah, well, the Redditors are on my side. My turret, you like it? Just bought it. Sorry, as you know, as the #1 streamer in the Peloton, not category, but the Peloton tag on Twitch, you know I'm big into Ariana Grande. One of my favorite artists from 2010's Pop Rides. I'm always talking about Ariana Grande. Or, as her fans call her, blank. I'd like to solve the puzzle, Pat. What is... I don't know where I'm going with this one. I know she was on the Disney Channel. Try constructing a Wheel of Fortune style before and after puzzle when the only thing you know about Ariana Grande was that she was on the Disney Channel for a time period. Or Nickelodeon. I can't remember. Because I was like probably 22 when she started. She's only like 3 years younger than you. Yeah, but like here's the way that it goes, okay? Like the difference between 18 and 15 in terms of like the direction your life is on is crazy. If you're 15 and you're on Nickelodeon, like, you're the elder statesperson of Nickelodeon. Meanwhile, I'm 18. I'm the youngest person on my university campus, essentially. Except for the 12-year-olds who build a 3D Lego printer that can, you know, print one-use syringes to ship to war-torn areas, you know? But we don't know. I don't ever see them because I'm assuming they live, like, with their parents still, which makes sense because they're 12 years old. So, like, Ariana Grande is like 3 years younger than me, but because she was on Nickelodeon, she's like 10 years younger than me. But because she became a millionaire when she was like 16, she's like 20 years older than me. It's hard to, it's really hard to parse it, honestly. Don't check the math. There's getting a lot of question marks. Plus, I'm bald and she has a long ponytail. You know what I mean, though? Here, like, I'm pretty sure I'm like roughly the same age as the lead singer from the Arctic Monkeys. I think we're the same age because when he started, he was making music for my generation. Whereas when Ariana Grande, despite being relatively contemporaneous in terms of ages, she was making media for a much younger audience, which in my head anchors her age at a younger point, even though obvious people think they're so smart in Twitch chat. Actually, a number is a number. It's not subject to any kind of subjective weighting factor. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, you know, there are actors who like feel older because they've been around forever, and then there's actors who feel younger because you don't know, you haven't seen them and stuff, or because they're doing like kids movies or something like that. You see what I mean? Like Scarlett Johansson, she's been doing movies since like fucking 1993 or something like that. She's 75 years old to me. Anytime I see like Scarlett Johansson just turned 37 today, Twitter trending topic. I'm like 37? She's been working for 50 years. Doesn't make any sense. Then meanwhile, Oscar Isaac, he's only been in movies for like 10 years. I'm pretty sure he's 19 years old. YouTube, you gotta help me out on this one. Why are checks still running on my 24-minute long Super Auto Pets video? Is to look at the like. I've got 9 dislikes on the video as a result of the fact that it only loads at 144p. Don't dislike those dislikes should go to YouTube. They should go to YouTube. This other Super Auto Pets video is still checking too. But the rumbleverse video from 2 days ago is not still checking. How about yes, my 3-hour-long Dome Keeper video that says, yes, this is all one run, not checking. I probably dropped about 450 F-bombs in that video. It's 3 hours long. YouTube's like, no, that's good. Super Auto Pets, where I'm like, oh, this freaking turtle. They're running it through the database right now. Whatever. Okay, start casino. Range stat decreases your melee speed. Some information that would have been useful to me yesterday. Anyone like The Wedding Singer? Starring Adam Sandler? Well, actually, it's very well liked. As far as Adam Sandler movies go, it's very well liked, I think. Julia Gulia. It's no uncut gems. Can I tell you that? Wait, what's that? Her name's Julia Fox, right? I've lost some respect for Julia Fox. Not in the sense like I think that she did anything wrong. But she did that interview where she was high, where she kept saying Uncut Gems.
Wrote Uncut Gems.
Right.
And then she's now on TV doing an Uber Eats ad where she says, that's my secret jam. Like she's riffing on her own viral video. I'm just gonna be honest, for me it's a little dies of cringe. I'm happy she's getting the money because I don't care. And I have, no love lost for Uber. But it's just a little embarrassing for me. It's just a little dies of cringe. As an expert in dying of cringe.
Untossed jams. Uber one's actually my favorite cult.
You ever see phone booth fighting? Nope, not. It's just it's one of those things everybody says, but nobody's ever seen. By the way, as long as we're talking about the dumbest stuff that came out of 2020, I definitely think, there's a lot of candidates. I gotta think that the popularity of televised slap fighting is going to be one of those things that, like, in the 2030s, we're going to be like, remember when, like, everybody online was sharing viral clips of 2 dudes slapping each other? Remember when a dude you went to high school with would send you a 45-second long video of a guy going, he's just putting his hands on a table and going, well, the other guy goes, that's always gonna be a thing. Yeah, okay, if you say so. There's other stuff from the 2020s, like we're pretty early on in the decade still, but there's some other stuff that I think, you could definitely look at and be like, what were we thinking? The popularity of Ted Lasso. Oh, people aren't ready for that one yet? Okay, I'll be honest with you. I have not seen a single episode. I'm mostly just trying to rile people up. Mostly just trying to farm some engagement in chat. Honestly, we'll probably look at Peloton as one of those things. I resent the corporation of Peloton because I love the service, but just by using the service, you have to become like part of the Peloton street team and explain why the company's like going out of business, even though they sell an overpriced exercise bike with an overpriced monthly subscription. And you gotta be like, you don't understand. I don't work for the company. I just enjoy the service that they provide. I also don't understand why, when you give them a lot of money, every 3 months, they're like, we gotta stop losing so much money. I'm like, what do you mean losing? I just gave that to you. Man, it's crazy how much my life has improved since uninstalling Rumbleverse. Had that great Dome Keeper run, playing some Brotato, 2 good Peloton rides. My life is in such a good place. Almost makes you think that you could maybe install like a competitive Battle Royale style game real quick. My friends without kids drinking a McDonald's Sprite. Whoa. Have you... This might be one of the best Sprites I've ever had. Hey NL, why aren't you at Twitchcon? I can say this now because Justin's already en route to Twitchcon. Twitchcon this year is really funny. Like the concept of like 3 months of really relentless bad PR followed by like a celebration of the community is just very humorous. It's like an HBO show. I mean, like it's like 3 weeks ago I woke up to an email 3 a.m. Local time, which also happens to be the time zone that the company headquarters is in. Just so you know, we're cutting your pay 20%. So why am I not going to TwitchCon? Well, I don't know. Maybe the money that I would have used to go to TwitchCon is not being offered to me anymore. No, I don't really feel like going to a celebration of the community right now. I'm sad. When are you moving to YouTube? Twitch staff, if you're in chat, this is a joke. This is a joke. This is sarcastic. I'll move to YouTube when they can process my damn video. So I stop having people come in on my chat being like, hey, your video doesn't work. I work in YouTube. Anything you say is being recorded. Yeah, welcome to like the 2020s. Of course, everything you say is being recorded. Did you see that tweet with a guy who was like having an intense conversation with his spouse, and his Apple Watch popped up and said like, it seems like you're having a hard time. Here's like the phone number for the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. And it was framed like, wow, that's so great of Apple to do. I'm like, why you listening to me, you little shit? Like, thanks for the suggestion, but at the same time, why the hell you listen to me, you piece of crap? You signed the terms of service? Yeah, but like, terms of service should kind of like be illegal, because like it's unreasonable to ask a human being to read all that. There should be like a cap on the word count of terms of service. If a terms of service was like 500 words or less, I would probably read every single one. But they're literally like, you know, 25 pages of legalese. It's not reasonable to assume that everybody's gonna read that. Yeah, that's how it works. Extremely Dr. Pangloss from Voltaire voice. That's how it has to be. It doesn't get any better. I remember seeing like a terms of service for an insurance company where they gave you an itemized list of payouts for each of your limbs being mutilated in an airplane accident. You ever feel, and this is like half sarcastic, but like half real. You know how like sometimes you'll be working on a project. The obvious comparison is like coding. Sometimes you're like, I got a great idea for like an app. And then you code it and you're like, my first feature, my second feature, my third feature. And then you're like, oh, I gotta like get this shit to all work together. Then when you try to link it, you're like, oh, but then I gotta go back to feature 1 and I gotta like refactor it a little bit. And then that means that I gotta go into feature 2 and I gotta like refactor it. Then I gotta go into feature 3, I gotta refactor it. Now feature 4 is in. Then I'm gonna add feature 5 and you're like, oh crap, now I gotta like slightly tweak like anyway, you build it up for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. And then eventually, surely there's gotta be a point where you wanna add another feature. And you're like, that just seems like too much work. I gotta, this thing, we built like cruft on top of cruft on top of cruft on top of cruft, and we smashed the garbage bag down, we shoved a few more pieces of garbage, some old potato chip bags on top, and we pushed it down again, and then eventually you just reach a point where you're like, I can't do it anymore, I need a new garbage bag, and you start the whole thing over. You're like, I just feel so free to be like, instead of fixing problems, I'm creating problems downstream for myself. Like, it feels good when you're sewing. Sometimes I wonder if like society is also like that. So I'm like, every time like I do anything that I'll go to the bank. It's a good example. Anytime you do anything at the bank, you have to sign like 9 forms. I just look at it and I'm like, if you design the system from the ground up now, that's not the way you would do it. We'd be like, really? Like, to buy a CD, I have to sign 8 forms that I don't even know really what they say. But it's like, oh, well, this is based on this, and that was based on that. Honestly, once every, like, 75 years, we should factory reset society. I'm sure that there would be knock-on effects. Like, I'm very thankful. You know what's great? Is the amount of safety we've inherited. You know, I can take my kid to the playground and I don't look at the swing set and I'm like, they're going to get their neck caught in the chain, or like the fastener is built out of shitty metal and it's going to fall over and she's going to smash her head on the concrete. You know, it's recycled rubber or something like that now. It's all made out of old tires. So when they hit the ground at terminal velocity, they just sort of like bounce off. But then there's every time I'm signing forms, I'm like, this can't be the way that this... Where are these forms even going? There's a huge warehouse with like a billion filing cabinets in it where like I'm going to ask a question and they're going to be like, well, check it out. Look at this form you said. Those forms aren't going... As soon as I sign the form, it's going into a shredder somewhere. There's no way there's that much paper storage on Earth. I think we got to turn society off for 10 seconds. You got to hold the power button and then turn it back on, okay? By the way, NL, the way you prevent that is called design patterns. Yeah, okay. That's why big software projects never run into bugs, like YouTube being unable to process my video today, despite the fact that it's like one of the most well-trafficked websites on the internet. Hey, just so you know, if you went to a real accredited university for computer science instead of a vocational institute for applied software development, we don't write any code. At UBC, we don't write any code, but we learn how to tell you to write the code better. If you need me, I'll be on the golf course. I'll be preparing a slide deck in seat 1A, first class. I'm on my second flight of the month to San Francisco. If you could just have that code up and committed to the production build by the time I land so I can show it off to the VCs, that would be great. Shut the hell up! Makes me sick. I'm a people person. The engineers can't talk to people. Hey, NL, ever been sucked? I'm going to assume you died mid-sentence. Okay? Because otherwise that question would be over the line. I'm going to assume that you were writing, hey, NL, ever been sucked off by a vacuum cleaner? In which case I would talk about Scary Movie 1. And we'd go off on a nice little tangent there. I told you not to bother me while I'm cleaning my room. Hey, psst, here's a little secret for you. You know how restaurants are always trying to scam you by getting you to like, forcing you inside of the restaurant to pay for food? You know what I do? I just empty the damn salt shaker. I say, excuse me, I gotta go to the bathroom. I take the salt shaker into the bathroom, dump it all in the toilet. Nobody's gonna make money on me, okay? If I'm paying $12.95 for a lobster mac and cheese, you're paying $6 for all the salt I'm dumping out in your toilet. By the way, when did we stop calling them ninja stars and start calling them shurikens? Because I felt like we were like a ninja star world until maybe like 2009 or something like that. And now we call them shurikens. Even my parents, they don't say ninja stars anymore. They literally say shoryukens. It's because of Slay the Spire? Come on. If anything, it's because of Ninja Gaiden. You're the #1 Ninja Gaiden fan I know. It's a really hard video game. I owned it on the original Xbox. Ninja Gaiden 1. I don't remember how far I got, but I think I fought a boss in a church. It was probably around the midway point of the game. And I went, fuck this. This shit is too hard. I'm going back to playing NHL 2006. Same. I remember beating like the first boss, because the first boss is like you have to beat the guy who administers the tutorial to you. And I was used to playing games in, you know, like the mid-2000s or even the early 2000s, I guess. That was basically like, if you just press the attack button 5 times, we'll just hand it to you. We'll hand you the win. And it was like, it took me an hour to beat the tutorial boss. And I was like, this is hell. Here's the thing. I know like other people have to play games optimally in order to have a chance to win. I'm just gonna say it. I think I'm better at dodging than you are. Because I live in a major city where people are constantly trying to like get in your way or hit you with their car or their electric scooter. Like, this is just another day at the office for me. It's not your fault. You know, I know that you probably live in a place where you go to a restaurant and there's like 3 other people in the restaurant and you're like, whoa, busy day. It's not me, okay? I live in a cosmopolitan environment. This is just, I don't even get, my anxiety doesn't get triggered by like big Viking aliens running at me. It's not even like a concern. I'm like, it's still, it's better than trying to park at Richmond Town Center, let me tell you. Give me the aliens any day over trying to park at Richmond Town Center. Where do you get your confidence from? Constantly being insulted by randoms on a daily basis. After spending years trying to be perfect, realizing that the closer you get to perfection, the more people get annoyed by the perceived difference, the gulf between their expectations and the reality of what a human being by themselves is able to accomplish. A little nihilistic, a little splash of nihilism and some Angostura bitters. Please stop, you're gonna piss off the suburbanites. Bro, I was talking to my parents about it. And I'm genuinely serious about this. I've lived in, you know, the concrete jungle now for like 10 years, right? I previously have always felt like it's awesome because you don't have to do any yard work. I don't have to shovel any snow. Now that I'm older, every day is like, I mean, if you want a preview of like adult life, as time goes on, more of your day is taken up by either doing chores or not doing chores, but in your head being like, well, I can't really relax because I've got to take the organics down or whatever. So now that I realize that it's a fool's errand to try to structure your life in the leanest way possible so that your responsibilities are lessened, because the responsibilities just, they just come to you. You can't stop them. You can resist, but it's the resistance that causes the friction. Oblivion is freedom when you just accept, oh, you just let the chores wash over me. Oh, sure, you need me to sign this thing by end of day? Oh, you need to, okay, here's a screenshot of the thing that you asked for. Okay, oh, yeah, sure, I'll take that down, no problem. Oh, yeah, you need me to call the exterminator? Okay, as soon as you accept that, you can start living your life. And that's why I've been glamorizing the idea of living in a detached home, because I gotta be doing stuff almost all the time anyway. At least if we've now reached a point where I'm like, if I add a chore of my choice, that's a positive, because at least I can like do the chore that I want to do. Now I'm like, I gotta get a house with a lawn so that instead of, you know, going down and, you know, doing the dishes, I could be like, well, I can't do the dishes right now. I gotta go outside and mow the lawn. And then at least I'm outside. You could crack a beer while you mow the lawn. I think I finally understand why so many suburban dads get into yard work. Because they're like, it's the weekend. I'm not only expected to do things, but I feel compelled to do things. Because I feel that I only have value to my family and to society when I'm being useful, which is probably something I should talk to a therapist about. At least I could I could build my own prison and be outside and comfortable and, you know, use the scissors to cut the grass and, you know, you get the idea? Put a podcast on. Then it also gives you another activity, because you could be like, oh man, I need a new lawnmower. That means I get to go to Canadian Tire and be like, what the heck? Oh, look at that. Electric starter. Holy cow. I totally get it, man. Any podcast recommendations? You don't want my podcast recommendations because I only listen to stuff about economics. I know. It's not even real. They're my favorite fiction podcasts. Oh, I'd say all the economics podcasts I listen to. But in all honesty, if you are looking for economics podcasts, I'm not trying to flex at all. This is just, you know, they say speak to what you know. And what I know is taking a 2-hour-long walk while the baby has her nap while listening to economics podcasts. Rational Reminder is goated. The Compound and Friends is goated. Animal Spirits is goated. Everything else, you know, it's as you see. Help me. It's to your level of desire. Like, I wouldn't necessarily... Fuck. I looked at where I was, and I was like, 4 seconds? I could probably do it. And then a second later, I was dead. Anyway. Have you hedged your portfolio from foreign currency fluctuations? Bro, I live in a foreign country. Americans be like, hey, what's it like buying things in a foreign currency? Bitch, I live here. Your currency's a foreign currency to me. Although it's complicated because I get paid in it. So I guess it's also kind of like a... We'll lead us to kings. We'll freaking lead us to kings. Did I run the... okay, the casino's running. Do you need a US bank? No. Although I did like someone said, do you need to convert it to Canadian dollars? Well, like to buy goods and services? Yes. I know, listen, it wasn't even like a rude question. But yes, to purchase things in Canada, you do need to use Canadian dollars for the most part. I know in America, you use American dollars to purchase things, or as you call them, dollars. But we, in other countries, usually business is done in the local currency. Is the Canadian dollar stronger or weaker? A lot weaker. The US dollar is had an incredible year. Yeah, the US dollar is actually like so strong right now that it's bad for everybody, including America. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, again, you should just listen to the podcast if you're interested. If you're not interested, which you're probably not, I'll just shut up. It doesn't matter. If you go out for dinner, did they say that will be 4 Canadian dollars? No, they do not. It just has a dollar sign next to it on the bill. It is also, there's, I mean, 4 Canadian dollars. What is that for the still water? Is that for the tap water? Jeez Louise, holy cow! Dinner for $4. Yes, the Canadian dollar sign is the same as the American dollar sign. But can I tell you something crazy? In Quebec, instead of using a decimal point to denote the difference between dollars and cents in a price, sometimes they use a freaking comma. So you're like, what? This sandwich is $11,000? But then you're like, no, you're just using a comma. I get it. $11 sandwich, what the hell? Listen, it's $11 Canadian, okay? Which is trying to run the numbers, but like 1 Canadian dollar is like 76 cents American right now. So it's like an $8 sandwich, which is actually like a pretty reasonable cost in 2022. I'm not saying cheap, I'm saying reasonable. I know you can get an egg salad sandwich at the gas station in the suburbs outside of Omaha, Nebraska for $3.75, but I don't live there and nobody does. So let's talk about some stuff, you know? Let's talk about some places where human beings actually reside. No offense, Mr. Buffett. What is a gun? It's very philosophical, Josh. I always default to the definition that Tears for Fears prevented in their 1986 song Head Over Feet. I mean, Head Over Heels. Head Over Feet, as Alanis Morissette said. Where, I think it's Tears. It might be Fears. I forget who sings the song, but he says, it's hard to be a man when there's a gun in your hand. Oh, I feel so... Something happens and I'm head over heels. I never find out. Oh, what a song, man. What a song. Hit the high note. You can't. Excuse me. I'll never find out till I'm head over heels. I can't hit it in his octave. I think I can hit it in my own octave as long as I get a running start. You're right. Should have saved medical gun. I had no idea that was the last time a gun would appear in a game that's called Gun Potato. Oh no, now I got the Wiggles stuck in my head. Gun potato, gun potato. Mashed banana, mashed banana. Have I told you my theory about the Wiggles yet? It's not really a theory. It's just that I actually think that you have to be the strongest person in the world to be in the Wiggles. Because if I was in the Wiggles, there's no way I wouldn't have like a substance abuse problem from having to sing all those songs every single day. By the way, that's not a mark of disrespect. I'm not suggesting that the people in the Wiggles have a substance abuse problem. I mean, one of them is literally like 17 or something like that. But I could not handle it. If God gives his strongest tasks to his hardest tasks to his strongest warriors, that's why I do not have the task of being one of the Wiggles. By the way, I saw Baer Taffy playing some Dome Keeper yesterday. He was looking like he had a pretty good run going on. Do you think it was it a 4,300 level good run? I'm up for a little bit of a rivalry. Just a good-natured rivalry. He got to 7,000. I've decided I will be uninstalling Dome Keeper. Is that true? Can I get a verified true-false on that? That's false. False, false. That's pretty false. Hey, NL, what's your major complaint about low-cost index funds? They could always be lower cost, I suppose. I would say that's my... I mean, I understand, you know, you look at something like VEQT, it's got a 20 basis point carrying cost. And then you're like, well, then there's XEQT, that's got an 18 basis point carrying cost. I mean, why not go to... Can we get Vanguard to maybe take it down to 17 basis points? Could we keep some competition going there? I don't know. You know what? Give me more speed. Ban whoever asked that question. Okay, I'm sorry I have to ban you. Sorry I have to ban you. How are you diversifying your portfolio in these trying times? You know, I was, again, this is like a, I'm sorry for the economics talk, but it's very funny to me. Because it's, the behavioral finance, it's, you read about it, and then you're like, I don't know about all this. And then you watch it play out, and you're like, you know what? I think they're kind of onto something. Last year, when we were at all-time highs, and everyone was like, this is so overinflated, people were like, why wouldn't you take leverage to buy stocks? It's free money. The interest rate's like 25%. Now things are down like, you know, 25% year to date. And people are like, why would you ever invest in the market? You should be in all cash right now. People are literally, the sentiment has people like contra opposed to what the data says is the best behavior. When things are expensive, people are like, I love buying this stuff. When things are cheap, they're like, I would never buy anything. Anyway, sorry, that's it. That's why momentum strategies exist. Well, okay, and now we're getting, okay, so I understand, look, I don't work in economics, okay? I understand momentum actually is one of the factors that accounts for the risk premium, okay? So I'm not trying to suggest that there's no value to momentum. I'm merely well, you know what you don't hear people say is like, whatever. Let's move on. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Sorry. I'm just saying, have you guys read the Fama and French papers? No, me neither, but I've heard summaries of them. NL about to have some very specific chat rules. Chat rules. If we discuss economics, you must sign the terms of service that says you believe in the efficient market hypothesis. That doesn't mean you believe that it fully explains all asset pricing, but it means you accept that all models are inherently and necessarily false, but can still serve as useful approximations of things that are happening in the real world. And then good vibes only. That's rule number 2 is good vibes only. Like last night, it was it's a great episode, Galleria 33. Two sisters own an Italian restaurant. They used to work at their dad's Italian restaurant for no reason whatsoever. They decided to compete with their dad and open a restaurant with like almost the same menu across the street. One of the sisters chain smokes, the other one chain drinks. And the waitress, when Gordon Ramsay starts getting the food, she just goes off on the restaurant for like an hour straight. So it's a great episode. It's not one of my, I wouldn't put it in the top 5, but it is a great episode. I mean, if we're talking top 5 kitchen nightmares, I do love, I love the one where the lady cries because she gets the sourdough bread instead of the hamburger buns. I love the one where, I I love the Australian burger company one that's in like Cinema City, LA, where instead of making fresh burgers, he flies in frozen meat from Australia. That's a great one. Where he's also borrowed $250,000 of his son's the inheritance money that he got from his grandpa, and then thrown it into the burger company and lit it on fire. And the chef keeps saying, here, every like 30 seconds of the episode, the chef goes, here's a tip, take some more Prozac. Here's some tip, maybe break the Prozacs in half next time. Hey, I've just got one word for you. Prozac. He just keeps, he says it like 1,000, he quits like 5 times in the episode. That's an all-timer. Amy's Baking Company is also a classic. Hi, I'm Nino. That's another good one. I mean, the American Kitchen Nightmares episodes are just crazy. Hi, I'm Nino. And then all the British ones, like the best British Kitchen Nightmares episodes, are ones where like the owner is like, I'll cut some costs. And Gordon Ramsay's like, don't do that. Serve fresh food. And they're like, okay. And then they do a recap and they're like, the restaurant went on to enjoy unparalleled success in the community. And then every great American Kitchen Nightmares episode is like, check out this criminally insane person who somehow owns a business. And you know what's great is that both shows are like some of my favorite content of all time. British Kitchen Nightmares is mostly just people who are not that great at running a restaurant and they need some help. And the American one is like, it's just people who have lost their minds. The one where he goes to the soul food restaurant and he finds the rat and then the manager publicly accuses him of putting that rat there. I will say though, watching that in like 2007, I was like, how could they accuse Gordon of putting that rat there? Take some responsibility. Watching that in 2022, I was like, I bet he was right. I bet they put that rat there just for entertainment value. Anyway, what am I doing? Right, I'm playing Brotato. That's right. And I'm having a good time, for the record. Watching people, like, it sucks to say, but it's not, I didn't design the human mind. I'm not going to take responsibility for it. Some of the best entertainment on the planet is watching people be really bad at stuff. Netflix figured it out. That's why, like, Nailed It is on season 45 or whatever. Sure, sometimes it's nice to see people that are amazing at stuff. Great British Bake Off. That's very cozy TV. But like, nothing feels as freeing as just giving yourself up to degeneracy, eating like 4 ice cream sandwiches and watching some trash TV, man. I know you're gonna take this the wrong way. It's nice to have a game you can play one-handed. Not so you can JO or whatever, but because, like, sometimes I finish a stream, and, like, I don't know if you can see this too well. I get, like, the edge of my hand gets, like, a red circle on it from pushing into my desk all day, even though I've got a relatively ergonomic setup. The gamer mark. Yeah, exactly. So to rest one hand so that I don't have the gamer mark anymore, I'm like, the mark of the gamer? That feels nice, honestly. What kind of chair you got? I don't want to brag. I don't want to make it like about me or whatever. Okay, fine. It's a Herman Miller. It's the Aeron. I know my dad has the M body, but when I bought the Aeron, the store didn't have any M bodies. I wanted an M body. Guy who wants to brag. I want to brag, but I don't want to brag, but it's a Herman Miller. It's a Herman Miller, but I don't want to brag. You know the horrible, like, Joss Whedon-esque game trailer where it was like, so let me get this straight. I'm casting spells, I'm doing flips, and, oh yeah, I'm speaking to a talking gauntlet. That one? I thought about how funny would it be if someone made one of those, but for Primer. And obviously we were talking about Primer at the end of yesterday's stream. So let me get this straight. I'm building a time machine, I'm traveling back in time, and oh yeah, I'm trading stocks now. Oh, I guess paradoxes are a thing that happens now. I think it could be funny. Anyway. -2? Yeah, but that's the point. Or whatever. Primitive blunt. You know what I'm saying? You know how people always say, like, it's just, and if you've said this joke before, join the club. Everybody's always said this. You don't feel like I'm uniquely insulting you. This is just a human thing. People always say things like, imagine being the first guy who tried milk. Like, what was his deal? He was like, you know that stuff that baby cows drink? Yeah, well, I took a sip, and you're not gonna believe this, but sure, I'll take extra attack speed here. All I wanted to say about that is, imagine being the first guy that smoked weed, man. That must have been incredible. Can you imagine? He was like, oh, look, oh, different grass. And then he took a hit off of that, and he was like, whoa! Whoa, bat, dude! Hey, Gronk, the way that the saber-toothed tiger fur is draped on your shoulders looks so freaking funny, man. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about, just being honest. But forget the first guy who drank milk, man. First guy who smoked weed must have been going off. He must have been like, what? Yo, look at Kate. Kate got an iPhone. Chad, don't type bat chest. Don't do it.
Smell the new iPhone, man. Smells like new iPhone. Baby. Baby.
They make good products. I'm sorry to say it. I know. I'm an Android user myself because I'm too locked into the ecosystem now. I'm afraid that if I changed, it would blow my whole life up, but they do make good products. Yeah, how many cameras does this one have? 50?
Look at this.
Look at that.
Look at this.
She's got it all.
You be asking, what is this model? It's Pro Max.
Stop holding it up to the screen.
Hello? Someone said dropped it. I'll drop your phone. Let's go.
Okay, see ya. That's true. We like Apple now. Because they actually, well, we like them more. Because they hobbled Facebook with their privacy changes. Two wrongs make a right. By that logic, we like Epic because of their lawsuit with Apple. Well, I like Epic. I know that most people don't like Epic because of the fact that they aren't Valve, and as a result, you have to have one more application on your computer. But I like them because they have a support a creator program that gets me affiliate kickbacks, and also they sponsored me to play Fall Guys that one time. So I not everybody's in the same boat, but I'd say honestly, pretty good company. Personally, from my perspective. Also, here's the thing I think is cool about Epic. Like, I think they overpay for exclusivity for a lot of indie games that might not necessarily otherwise be profitable, and that's great for the devs. It might be bad for the long-term health of the Epic corporation, but I think it it leads to some games being greenlit that otherwise, if they were subjected to merely the conditions of the free market, might not exist. Max HP is a little scary. Dude, it does feel like rumbleverse. Everywhere I look, I see her face. I'm doing the super sumo clap now. We don't pick up crates that often. I'm rolling once. Hand two! La-da-dee-da-da-da-da! Hand two! Ah, the time that I never thought that I had to. It's 'cause I had to. He says song 2 in that song, right? All of the times that I never listened to song 2. It's 'cause it's song 2. So this is a real story, I promise you. We had to pick a song for our dorm room floor in first year university. We were the second floor. We were on floor 2. You'll never guess what song we took, and thus had to sing at the talent show. Floor 2. Floor 2. Anyway, that's a long time ago. Also remember karaoke night, having to convince my roommate not to choose to sing AC/DC's Big Balls and torpedo our social life before it even got started. I mean, this is a much scarier run, but it's mostly because I have to actually get up in the mix. You know, I can't just run away from my problems. I love avoiding my problems. It really is the best. The worst is when you get a problem and you're like, I gotta deal with this shit right now. Like getting a Charlie horse, for example, that sucks. When you get a problem and you're like, oh yeah, don't worry, we don't need this till Friday. You're like, oh shit. If you don't need this till Friday, guess what, motherfucker? You're not getting it till Friday. Someone sends me an email. We need this Friday at the latest. Okay, you know when you're getting it? Friday. At the earliest. Hey, what do you think about the fact that when you do that, it means that every time you actually deal with something, it's a crisis? Yeah. That part of it sucks. But like the 5 days in advance where you completely forget that it exists, except for like maybe 10 times a day when you get anxiety because you're like, oh, I gotta do that thing. That part's pretty cool. By the way, in case you're wondering, hey NL, what was your year song when you were in first year university? Very disappointed to inform you, it was Pump It by the Black Eyed Peas. I would say it was, I mean, of all the songs that came out in 2006, they couldn't have made it like Man Eater by Nelly Furtado or Young Folks by Peter, Bjorn, and John or something. They had to go with... Whoa! That was a fire song. I promise you it wasn't. You were actually just like probably about 10. I was 10, that's true. Hold on. I'm going to take a little muscly dude. I'm going to raise my attack speed. I've told this story before, but I've told every story of mine before. It's been a long time. I worked, well, not with a guy. I had an acquaintance in South Korea who, whenever he would get drunk, he would make the same argument that like everybody only dislikes the Black Eyed Peas because they're popular, which doesn't even pass like the test of first principles. But he would say things that were insane, like you know, I think the Black Eyed Peas deserve to be in like the same conversation as the Beatles, and I think like in 20 years they will be. Well, we're halfway to that 20-year threshold. And I think that, if anything, the Black Eyed Peas have largely been forgotten. You're just out of the zeitgeist? I don't think so. I mean, like, the thing that keeps me attached to the zeitgeist is the Peloton. And I'm telling you, in 2010's pop rides, they're not using that much Black Eyed Peas. A lot of Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga's made it into the zeitgeist. Black Eyed Peas seem largely to have been... They're not at, like, the Baha Men level. Like, they haven't been erased, you know? But they're not really talked about that much. Like I feel like even LMFAO is like talked about a little bit, mostly because they were nice enough to apologize for their party rocking. Help me. Sometimes I'd really like to be alone, but that's one state I'm never in, because every moment I've got... What happens if you get to 100 dodge chance? Does it turn into Vampire Survivors where you literally just stand still? Okay, I'm out of here. Cap is 70. Dude, we're almost there. Look at me. Hey, everybody on... This is my... Hold on, I gotta wait till the next wave. It's kind of getting hot. My impression of... My friends without kids who post GIFs of their Vampire Survivors run. Just give me a second. Okay, we're gonna have to wait till the next wave. Okay, just wait for it. My friends without kids who play Vampire Survivors be like, check out this awesome run that I walked away from while I made and ate dinner and then watched an episode of House of the Dragon. Because they're just standing still. They're just standing still. I really expected a lot of -2s, and I'm disappointed. People loved it. The producers! React Andy to Vancouver's worst drivers. Oh, man. But, dude, what if I saw myself? I would have to be the greatest actor of all time. I would, like, see my license plate, and I would have to be like, who's this bozo? Hey, honestly, guys, I think this guy, like the other clips, they were bozos. But this guy's, the guy in front of him took his spot at the four-way stop, so he's just trying to make it, he's just trying to do his best, okay? And then you see me looking like that Mathis picture. He doesn't look like me, okay? He doesn't. Yeah, he's bald. Yeah, he's got his top buttoned up on his polo shirt. He doesn't even look like me. Hey, Kate, come here. Does this guy look like me? Yeah, oh, well, yeah, I do have that shirt. Yeah, that is our car. Can you guess the celebrity by the sound of their fart? Can you guess the friend by their mouth? This might be like the weirdest quiz I've ever seen in my life. Hey, you ever watch so much? You ever be a freak? So you make a quiz like this? Can you guess the friends from the TV show Friends based on their mouth? Yeah, Judy Geller. I don't know who that is. Pete. Pete is played by Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd's right here. I give up. Okay? Average score 88%. I'll just be real with you. Ah, that's her. Yes. Okay. You're Tyrion Lannister. You're Khaleesi. You're Varys. You're Joffrey. You're Marjorie Tyrell. Average score 92%. Maybe I'm the sicko. The Office by mouth. These are just... You know what's funny? I was about to say these are just real people, you sickos. Then I realized they're the same. They're actors. They're the same as the people on Game of Thrones, but for some reason, the people on Game of Thrones, I'm like, well, they're open season for freak quizzes because they're actors. But the people on The Office are just normal people like doing their jobs. Obviously, that is not true. You're Aaron, aka as soon as you see this character, stop watching the show. It's all going downhill. It's not her fault, by the way. She's the bellwether. She's fine, but the show does not get any better from the point that this character gets introduced, okay? Friends by mouth. Stranger Things by mouth. MCU by mouth. It's Always Sunny by mouth. The Big Bang Theory by mouth. Oh, please. The only way she could have a contribution to science is if they start sending chimps back into space. Bazinga. Anyway, these quizzes are very weird to me. Let's go find some other ones, because this is crazy. You made this joke yesterday? Yeah, it's a good joke. It's from my favorite show, The Big Bang Theory. TV show by terribly translated title. The Prince of Rap, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, The Crazies. Dude, this one's tough, man, because, like, all these shows got some craziness, but The Big Bang Theory is like the craziest of all. There's this one dude, Sheldon, and he's like, he's talking about a rival physicist, and he says, oh, please, the only way she could have a contribution to science is if they start sending chimps back into space. Fogged up spectacles, The Crazies. Fogged up spectacles? I'm going to say it's Breaking Bad. The Crazies. The Big Bang Theory? Okay, Breaking Bad was In the Shoes of Satan. It makes sense. Big Bang Theory was Fogged Up Spectacles? It doesn't even make any sense. I have no idea. Quiet, Larry. That's Curb Your... Dude, that's actually an incredible name for Curb Your Enthusiasm. Is this... They think in Portugal, they think that Susie's the main character? Shut up, you bald fuck. Fuck you, you fucking freak out. I'll see you tomorrow. Back to the Desk. Back to the Desk sounds to me like Community. Because obviously in the IT crowd, they have desks. However, Jeff goes back to college, which has desks. Father's Borrowed, unexpectedly the father of. I think that's Raising Hope. And then you're Full House, and I'm insane. I'm insane with it. What the frick, Dex? What the frick? You're like some kind of bloodthirsty angel, Dex, and you're my brother. Just kidding. I like the quizzes. I'm sorry to say, I like quizzes that are a little harder. I like quizzes that are a little bit more difficult. I'm not like other people. I like hard quizzes. Yeah, like this one. How about country by traditional house? That would be Japan. That would be Korea. That would be South Korea. That would be China. Okay, that was my first guess. This looks like Bhutan to me. Looks like Bhutanese design. This is crazy. Why is your house a boat? It looks cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm like, could this be like New Zealand or Australia or like Papua New Guinea or something like that? Some Pacific island with a seafaring culture. Indonesia? Okay. This is Greece. I know because it's the same name as a yogurt. This is Japan? House Japan? This is Bhutan? Oh! He's crazy. This is Hawaii? This is New Zealand? That's pretty cool. This is Morocco? This is like Libya? This is like no, this is like Italy. Ooh, he's crazy. This is Switzerland. This is Vietnam. This is the Philippines. This is PUBG, and I pass. What are you? India, of course. This is Spain. What? My brother in Christ, this is Spain. Look at those shoes, man. No, wait. This is Morocco? Wait, no, it's Spain. It's Spain, dude. Okay, that you should not have used this photo. This is not a man in traditional garb. This is a man in an ill-advised Halloween costume. This is a Canadian guy in an outfit from Party City. This is Mexico. I'm kind of insane with it. This is Central Asia. This is Poland. Is the extension cord part of the garb? I don't know this one. This is Korea, Spain, USA. Is it not? This is not Texas garb? I don't know. I guess it must be maybe a South America somewhere. Oh, I give up. Okay. Indonesia. Greece? They be rolling out into like Athens versus Sparta combat with little pom-poms on their shoes? Are you kidding me? It's the Philippines. I thought I typed Indonesia, didn't I? Finland. I still the extension cord, man. Like, what is this dude doing? Argentina, of course. This is Greece. I don't think so. This dripped out, though, that's for sure. I couldn't even guess. She's dressed like Lil Nas X. Okay, this is Arabian Peninsula. This is Saudi Arabia. This is Korea. It's the same countries every time. That's what I'm learning. So you must be like Turkey. Okay, yes. All right. A katana. That would be the Sengoku period of Japanese history. Japan. Oh, sorry, the Kamakura Shogunate, if you want me to be more specific. The Makana. This is from the Incan Empire. Just a complete guess. The boomerang. The Australian Empire. The Irumi. This is actually a bloodborne weapon. What the hell is this? An Irumi. How is this a sword whip? Shit looks like the risk of friendly fire is very high. I can't even muster a guess, honestly. This is the Alaskan Empire. This is the Philippines. This is Indonesia. It was Indonesia. Okay. What the hell is this? Why does it have a mouth face on it? Listen! What the hell is this, man? What even is it? It looks like a wine opener. It's a throwing weapon? This is crazy, man. I couldn't even guess. I couldn't muster a guess. What is this? Do you wear it? It's a sword whip? Shit seems really dangerous. I get that it's a weapon, like it's kind of the point, but it kind of looks like a belt. Oh, this is the Kopesh from the New Kingdom of Egypt. This is from the Kingdom of Congo. The scimitar was from the Persian Empire and the Arab Caliphates. And the patu was from the Maori people. Country by traditional musical instrument. I feel like I'm learning a lot. The sitar, that's from India. Or, if you love the Beatles, Liverpool. This would be from China. This is from... That's a typewriter. It's an old cash register. This is from Sears. This is from South Africa. This is from Kenya. This is from Africa in general. I don't know. I don't have an answer. The lyre. This is this. I can't. I'm sorry. It's just the saddest photo I've ever seen. And maybe he's having a great time, but just picturing this guy like wearing street clothes and then going into a changing room and changing into this like tunic is got me thinking, man. It's got me feeling a certain sort of way. The QAnon is from America? I have no idea. It's from the Philippines. Don't be stupid. It's from Indonesia. The didgeridoo is from Australia. The Celtic harp is from Celtia. I'm just joking. It's from Ireland. The Bondoria. This is an honest question. Is that Carlos Santana? Because he looks like he's ripping it up. It is? Yes, yes, no, yes, yes, maybe, yes, looks like him, no, no, yes, yeah. I think that's Carlos Santana, man. It's from Colombia. It's from Mexico again. It's from Spain. Could have told you that. I'm malicious, mean, and scary. My sneer could curdle dairy. And violence-wise, my hands are not the cleanest. This is literally just a guy. You should do that top button up, though. The accordion is from Poland. It's from Zimbabwe. It's from Iraq. It's from Russia? The accordion's from Russia? I guess this is a Garmin, but isn't a Garmin just an accordion? This is the most Russian image ever? What are you talking about? He looks like everybody's grandpa. He looks like my grandpa. Oh, my grandpa doesn't play the accordion, though. I guess, good point. It's a Russian polo shirt? That's just an old man polo shirt. They stopped making the fabric stiff. They start making it like a lot thinner and more breathable so it can survive the Floridian heat. And then they spread out the collar. Like a young man's polo, they give it a really tight collar. An old man's polo, they spread out. They spread it way out to allow the old man neck to fit through the hole. Country by ruined city. What would you do if they just had like a photo of contemporary Cleveland in here? You know what's messed up is I thought about saying a photo of Detroit. But then I was like, no, that's too offensive. People might take it the wrong way. So I went with Cleveland as if it's not like the same thing. Like they're not the same city, but they're both like equally offensive. When Einstein first published his famed theory of relativity, 47. June 26th, the motherfuckers at Chibley's age? Oh, please, the only way NL can make a contribution to Sporcle is if he started making quizzes about McDonald's Sprite. Bazinga. Parallel that separated North and South Vietnam. It's the 16th parallel. Number of ruling monarchs from the House of Stuart of Scotland, Great Britain, and England. I'm going to say it's 14. Oh, dude, I'm insane. Years ruled by the longest verified ruling monarch in history, Sobhuja II of Swaziland. I'm going to say Queen Victoria reigned for longer than Queen Elizabeth II. Queen Elizabeth II reigned for like 75 years, right? 70 years. Queen Victoria was like even a little bit longer, right? So I'm going to say we have to be in like at least in the early 80s. Let's go with like an 82. He's cracked. Days the Battle of Gettysburg lasted. I'm going to say that was a nasty one. That was a 28-day battle. Oh, 3. Okay. Hours it took Charles Lindbergh to fly across the Atlantic Ocean. It was a feat, so he must have had to stay up for a couple days. I'm going to say it took him 42 hours. Number of years to build the Panama Canal. 15. Number of lifeboats the Titanic held prior to sinking. Probably wanted to have enough capacity for everybody. I'm going to say a ship like that probably carried 4,000 souls. Every lifeboat carries 10 people. 400 lifeboats. That doesn't make sense. It only goes to 99. 40? Nope. All right. They didn't have enough for everybody? Bro, why did they... What's the point of having lifeboats? Why wouldn't they have enough lifeboats for everybody? They famously did not have enough lifeboats. I'm sorry, I'm not James Cameron. I don't know everything about the Titanic. They thought it was unsinkable. Well, then why didn't they pack no lifeboats? They should have packed none. Number of bathrooms in the White House. I mean, my house has 3, and the White House is a little bit bigger than mine. I gotta feel like there's at least 20 bathrooms. Self-portraits painted by Frida Kahlo. You have 3 bathrooms? Hey, relax. One's a little bathroomette. Yeah, we got the master, and then we got another one. That's 2.5. Don't insult me. Don't insult. Listen. We got a staircase too. I'm not trying to flex. Chibli, in honor of Chibli's birthday, self-portraits painted by Mexican artist Frida Kahlo. That's got to be 26. God, that would have been a sick fucking clip, man. Liters of wine drunk annually per citizen of Vatican City. I'm going to say 30 milliliters once a week equals about 2 liters a year from Mass. And then let's add in an extra 2 liters monthly, maybe 2 bottles of wine. I'm going to say it's 28 liters annually. 74? Chill out, man. Most children birthed by a single person. I'll hit you with a... Let's do the math. If you started real young, went to menopause, had 1 a year, you could probably do 30. No. So, citation needed? Source? I made that up? That doesn't... No, I understand. Listen, I understand you could have twins, you could have triplets. You recognize this is like the Octomom running it back 8.5 times. I don't believe it, man. I don't believe it. Days it would take to become a millionaire if you start at 1 cent and double your money every day. 26. Calories burned chewing gum for an hour. 12. Varieties of pickles Heinz produces. 57. Percent of life a cat spends sleeping. 50. Average life expectancy of a Japanese woman. 85. Minimum number of ravens in residence at the Tower of London, 26. Number of intercourse partners the average British or American person has in their lifetime, 100,000, 99, 100. Percentage of Americans that smoke cigarettes, 28. Number of stars in the Paramount Studios logo, 12. Percentage of Australians who will develop skin cancer by 70. I was not going to say 66%. Valentina Vasilyev and her husband Fedor Vasilyev are alleged to hold the record for most children a couple has ever produced. She gave birth to a total of 69 children, 16 pairs of twins, 7 sets of triplets, and 4 sets of quadruplets between 1725 and 1765. Bullshit. I want to see proof. They did not have 70 kids. There's no way. There's no way. I don't believe it. It was the 1700s. You could just make shit up. You just be like, oh yeah, all these kids, they're mine. It probably took them like 10 years just to do the arithmetic to figure out how to pretend that they were all theirs. Why make it up? I don't know. They're probably bored. They had nothing to do. It's the 1700s. Average number of baseballs used in an MLB game. Let's, every inning, you probably got like 3 fouls that go into the stands, plus a couple home runs. So I'm going to say it's like 35 balls, give or take. Holy cow. Wait, if they hit a foul ball into the stands, obviously they get a new ball. If they hit a foul ball down the third baseline or something, like, they don't wait for the left fielder to throw the ball back to the pitcher? They just run it back? Every time the ball hits the ground or a bat, they replace it. Bro, that shit is so wasteful. Why don't you lead by example? Holy cow. I'm supposed to wash my takeout containers to put them in the recycling. Meanwhile, MLB, every time the ball touches the dirt, they're like, ooh, I'll take a new one, please. Times the word hell is mentioned in the King James Bible, 1. I just thought that would be humorous. Number of noble paths to the end of the cycle of rebirth in Buddhism. So the trick question is infinity, which is also 8 sideways. Youngest age at which a pope took reign on record. How old was Jude Law? There must have been a young pope. There must have been like a 30-year-old pope. Age in which Sarah gave birth, according to Genesis. Sarah who? Sarah, smile. Won't you smile for me, girl? Sarah, smile. I can't hit that. Anyway, you guys like Hall & Oates? I don't know. Well, Genesis, that's part of the Old Testament, right? So she must have been old as hell. She must have been like literally like 90. I'm insane. Just Be Close Gaming Edition. Total of number of squares on a chessboard, 64. Number of all games released in the Castlevania series, under 30. I give up. Number of children recognized by Marlon Brando. Is this like... What do you mean recognized? Like, do some of them look alike? Just say 11. Hey! Oh, he is getting answers from the chat. Years Little Orphan Annie appeared in newspaper comic strips. I don't know, like 30? 86 years? I give up. I'm not doing that. Are you crazy? The number of first dates Adam Sandler had, 50. Plus the title number of a Jackie Robinson documentary. You gotta read the whole question. Weight of E.T. when he stepped on the scale in the film. I don't know. Look at E.T., okay? He's got a big fucking head. He's got a big fucking belly. He's about, I don't know, maybe like 3 feet tall. He's got a really, really thin neck and limbs. If I'm looking at that, I'm saying E.T. is like the textbook skinny fat body type, and he's about as tall as the average 3rd grader. I'm going to say that assuming that there's nothing going on where his body is made of different If he's a carbon-based life form that has the same relative morphological composition of a human being and just a weird-looking skeleton, but that's still made out of like calcified bones and stuff like that, I'm gonna say that E.T. probably weighed. I'm gonna say he weighed about 60 pounds. He weighed 35 pounds. I don't buy it, but that does explain how he was able to make the bike levitate. Runtime of the movie The Nightmare Before Christmas in minutes. I'm going to say it's a short boy. I'm going to say that's a 92. 76? They put that shit in theaters. It's 76 minutes long. Paid $18 for a movie ticket. It's shorter than a Game of Thrones episode. More movies should be that long. I'm a 90-minute Marty. Like, I'll be honest with you. If a movie is under 90 minutes... it's not like, oh, I'm not getting my money's worth. I just look at it and I say, this studio has no faith. They're not... Don't get me wrong, by the way. As soon as a movie crosses about 2 hours and 45 minutes, I'm over it too. Like the Batman I enjoyed. Shit is too long. If they need to release like not a director's cut, but like a viewer's cut of the Batman. Where they remove every scene where Colin Farrell goes, "What? Falcone? What are you fucking? What are you guys doing? Come on, what are you guys doing to me?" If they could cut all of that out of the movie and get it down to like maybe 2 hours and 15 minutes, I would enjoy that. 2 hours and 15 minutes, that's it. He's the best part? I know, I was just looking for an easy joke. Honestly, they could probably cut all the scenes where Catwoman and Batman have a conversation with one another. Keep the scenes with Catwoman. Don't cut Catwoman, but cut the scenes where they talk. That's it. They can cut all the scenes, period. Well, it wouldn't be much of a movie then. I want to see more videos of Paul Dano as the Riddler, too. I want to see more of his YouTube videos. Thanks for your comments, guys. Today we're doing the one chip challenge. I heard it's really hard, but it won't be as hard as maintaining a smile on my face in the vicinity of this fucked up city. Actually, I'm feeling a tingling sensation in my mouth. Ooh, that's really hot. I'm sorry. You know what I thought would be a good bit? Is just reading the description of Madea movies as if you're not familiar with the Madea films and reading them with a straight face. Like the way that my dad would read the back of VHS tapes in a Blockbuster in the early 90s. Honey, what about this one? Madea's back, hallelujah. And she's not putting up with any nonsense as family drama erupts at her great-grandson's graduation celebration. What do you think about that? It's got a 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb. This one's called Tyler Perry's A Madea Homecoming. Let's go. There's a lot of them. It's just about, it looks like there's about 75 Madea movies here. Let's go take a look. What about this one? While planning her family reunion, a pistol-packing grandma must contend with the other dramas on her plate, including the runaway who has been placed under her care and her love-troubled nieces. That sounds like it's got a little something for everybody. That one, that's got a 5.2. That's Madea's family reunion. How about this one? This one is short and sweet, gets right to the point. Mischievous Grandma Madea lands in jail, where she meets a variety of mixed-up characters. That's got a 4.4 out of 10. That one's called Madea Goes to Jail. They only needed one sentence in order to describe what happens in Madea Goes to Jail. How about this one? Madea, what the fuck? Madea's neighborhood takes a turn for the worse when a foster mother moves in with her unruly kids. Madea, you're canceled. She's just trying to provide a stable household for some kids from a broken home. What the hell is wrong with Madea, man? That's Tyler Perry's Madea's Neighbors from Hell. A Wall Street investment banker who has been set up as the linchpin of his company's mob-backed Ponzi scheme is relocated with his family to to Aunt Medea's southern home. Come on, man. The first half of that sentence, I was trying to figure out where the hell's Madea, man. A Wall Street investment banker who's been set up as the linchpin of his company's mob-backed Ponzi scheme has relocated with his family to Aunt Medea's southern home. That's Medea's Witness Protection, starring Tyler Perry, Eugene Levy, and Denise Richards. I saw that one in theaters. Oh, man. Please look at Tyler Perry's Medea's Big Happy Family. Madea, Big Happy Family. The crazy and comical Mabel Simmons, otherwise known as Madea, tries to wrangle her fighting family together for a family dinner regarding the health of her niece Shirley. Can I tell you, I've seen this film. I saw this one on Netflix. That's the one where the one lady goes, Byron, why don't you look after your son, Byron? I've also seen a Madea family funeral, which has one of the strangest story arcs of any film I've ever seen in my entire life, where a guy dies like 10 minutes into the movie, and then you think it's going to be like, some laughs, but also a meditation on life. But actually, at the end of the funeral, his widow says, excuse me, I have to go get my hoe bag. She grabs a duffel bag full of pajamas and her toothbrush and some lotion and stuff like that. And then she goes on a Las Vegas trip with a new man. I'm not saying it was a bad movie. It's just an unusual, it broke the 3-act structure. IMDb trivia. This film was shot in less than a week. Wow. How about that? Madea on the run. Madea is on the run from the law with no place to turn. She moves in with her friend Bam, who is recovering from surgery and has no idea what's going on. Oh, Bam. I remember Bam from the movies. She's kind of like, she's the Costello to Medea's Abbott, I would say, as played by the inimitable Cassie Davis, of course. How about Boo 2? Madea, Bam, and Hattie venture to a haunted campground, and the group must run for their lives when monsters, goblins, and the boogeyman are unleashed. That sounds fun. That's Boo 2, a Madea Halloween. It's 101 minutes long. Nightmare Before Christmas, 76 minutes. Really makes you think. Really makes you... What about the first one, though? What about the first Madea Halloween? Madea lands in the midst of mayhem when she spends a haunted Halloween fending off killers, paranormal poltergeists, ghosts, ghouls, and zombies, while keeping a watchful eye on her wild teenage great niece. That's the original Boo, a Madea Halloween. Tagline, trick or treat, fools. FouseyTube is in this one. I did not know that FouseyTube was in one of the Madea films. He is in Medea's Boo, a Madea Halloween. All right, Kate is live. I will send you over there. I mean, there's still like 20 Madea films we haven't even touched here. I mean, like just while you're on your way. What about this one right here? Maria dispenses her unique form of holiday spirit on a rural town where she's coaxed into helping a friend pay her daughter a surprise visit in the country for Christmas. What's the tagline on this one? Jolly, fat, and old. Who were you expecting? I'm sorry. It's got a 28 on Metacritic. Stars Tyler Perry, Chad Michael Murray, and Larry the Cable Guy. In case you were interested in checking out A Madea Christmas. Boo! A Madea Christmas. Available holiday season 2013. Came out January 8th, 2013. Not when I would come out with a movie about a holiday in December, but what do I know about cinema? Maybe that's just when it was done. All right, have a good night.